I'm always working on. I'm always practicing.
Right.
You know, I want to give 150% every show, and
feels good.
It does feel good. It feels good. My purpose is to get out there and be the best one out there.
Yeah. Deliver
this and leave people in awe. Jaws on the floor, tears of blood, you know. That's what I live for, man.
Got something on your cheek. I don't know.
You know, and I just, it's the passion.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Metal Maniacs Podcast. I'm your host, Jay Ingersoll, and I'm here with the Iron Man.
The man himself, the myth. It's your boy Modd. What's good, Jay?
What's up, buddy?
Good morning.
Good morning.
Yeah, we're here.
Today, our guest, he's a dude that's been a friend of ours for a while. He's a badass drummer, guitar player, vocalist, bassist when need be, producer and owner of Apocalypse Audio, guitar pedal collector, metal enthusiast, practicer of the dark arts. And his many projects include the Black Temple, Mercenario, Ter By Night, Apocalypse Devastator, 666, and anything else I'm leaving out?
I don't think so.
Okay, cool.
I think you nailed it.
Awesome. Hell yeah. Erikk Stroude.
Hello.
Thanks for coming back on the show, buddy. Appreciate it.
Good to have you.
Good to have you.
Been about a year, give or take.
Yeah, it's been about a year.
Pull that thing right up to you there, buddy.
Yes, it's been about a year.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So last time we talked, kind of talked about our history together, how we kind of went back with the Infinite Design Theatricide thing, talked a little bit about the start of Black Temple, start of your guitar playing journey, how you came up with the Black Temple name and your some multiple other projects. Ray was also with us too last time, so we talked about a lot of other things of the sort of things he did with young girls when he was a young man in the bedroom listening to Cradle of Filth and that sort of thing, you know.
He's got many stories, doesn't he?
So, some conversations that weren't necessarily warranted, but so
out from
Ray,
left field.
So we'll have a little more focused conversation this time on some other things. And since the last time that we spoke, you and I got a chance to jam for the first time ever. Erikk offered to fill in for Adam when he was going through some stuff, learned our whole set for us, wrote it all down. Totally professional. I was so impressed by you, Erikk. So for one, thank you for doing that and learning that. Kind of sucked the show got canceled the day of the show, so we didn't get to do the show.
Right.
But I just want to say that's how it's done as well, because when you jam with other people, you want them to be professional if they're going to, fill in or whatever for you.
Yeah.
He had all the stuff. We went there. We jammed for like 5 hours straight. He said, let's just keep going until we get it right. And I love that fucking attitude, man. I love that. Let's just keep going. I know
we crushed it that day,
we
man.
did. We did. And then we jammed another time, and we jammed for like 4 hours and just went over the songs. And Erikk had him sounding awesome. I was like, man, it was really exciting. And, just to be able to jam with a different drummer, drummer of his ilk and how long we've known him, I was like, this was fucking badass, man. We had a good time. We were all business, so.
Yeah, if the song's good, I'll play it until I fall asleep, until I just, wear out physically.
Right.
I don't need to take breaks. I mean, I wasn't there, but I'm with you guys in that mindset.
All the songs were fun as hell to play, man.
If they're good songs, just
exactly
until it's bedtime, until it's lights out.
They're all good songs, man. You guys write cool shit.
Yeah, appreciate
sweet.
that. So, and maybe we'll get back around to this, but towards the end. But I do want to do something musical with you, because that really sparked whatever it is. I know you got a million projects, you got a million things going on, but we need to do something together, whether it's write a little 4-song something or whatever. We need to do some jamming. So
put them on the spot.
Yeah, I'll put you on the spot. No, I'm saying we'll get back around to that. We ain't going to talk about that right now. But what I did want to ask you, since the last time, like I said, Ray was here, something we didn't get to ask you, what we usually ask people, is just tell us a little bit how you got into metal, then extreme metal, then how you're drumming, or you started drumming or playing music. How did that come into your life?
Holy shit. Fucking history. Man. Kid, Headbangers Ball, I guess.
Okay.
they would do, or no, this goes back even earlier. Probably like 9 years old.
Yeah.
With MTV and seeing the music videos.
Yep.
Fucking Def Leppard, bro.
Yep.
Oh shit.
You can't fuck with Def Leppard.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what anybody said. Dude. I'll fucking cut your head off.
Bring it to the Black Temple.
Headless
bitch.
Dude, man, it's like fucking Def Leppard pour some sugar on me,
Yeah.
dude. Like I ain't embarrassed.
I'm cut
I
from the
like you
same
see
cloth.
that. You see, like I just saw the spectacle of that music video, them on stage and like the torn jeans and all this shit. I was
Yeah.
like, fuck yeah, dude. And
Yeah.
that's where it kind of started.
Yeah, 80s hair metal.
Yeah, just kind of where it started. I was a little kid, man.
Yeah,
So that's
same.
where it started. And then, with the MTV and everything, all of a sudden you see that and kind of went to like the Skid Rows and the Poisons and the Rats and
The Motley Crues.
the Motley Crues, the Shout at the Devil. I mean, that
Yep.
was kind of, ooh, what's this?
Yeah. Hell yeah.
Bought that and I was like, holy fuck! I had this little boom box. I'd listen to fucking my tapes on and shit. So I started going to the stores. Then I was like looking for covers.
Yep.
Me and Jay were kind of talking about this before we started. But I'd start looking at covers, and that's where found the Megadeth and the Nuclear Assaults and the fucking Testament and all that shit. And then with the MTV too, you had the Headbangers Ball. So now I'm seeing videos from like Slayer, Pantera. I mean Primus even too, like the Sailing the Seas of Cheese record. And I don't know, man. I just kind of went from there. Just going to the store, and like the first death metal record I ever stumbled across was Entombed Crawl, the Crawl EP.
Okay.
And that was my first. That was the first time I'd ever heard anything like that with that fucking chainsaw guitar tone and shit. I was addicted immediately.
That vocal too must have been.
Oh god, yeah. That
one of the
Orvar
first times,
Safstrom from Nirvana 2002 sang on that EP. So it was like had that black metal-y kind of fucking rasp to it shit too.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I just went. A lot of people could probably relate where before all the internet and shit, you're going to the store, you're looking at the covers, read the song titles, and for me, it's like the heavier and the darker, the more like just I don't know, like the more evil it was, the more I was like.
He was like, pour some
I just
sugar
wanted to
on
get
me.
it.
Fuck yeah, pour some sugar on me. Yeah.
Sounds-
I mean, it started, it started there and it ended up at fucking Carnage and Deicide, like
Hey, that's a cool journey.
it's an
though.
interesting evolution.
Yeah, for sure. How many of those covers did you get burned on? Because I know Nick and I talk about this quite frequently, and we've been burned on quite a few, man. Just
God.
they look cool, and then you're like, oh, this is kind of a shit.
I would if I went to the store and I got something and I looked at the cover and I was like fucking sick and I didn't like it, I'd scratch that bitch and I'd bring it back, be like, yeah, I bought it, it was scratched.
Oh God.
I'd get my money back. So
His last one I brought back last week.
yeah, it was a regular thing. So I just go grab something else and do over, man.
Yeah.
It's now like in hindsight, I think about it. Some of that shit that I did that to. I mean, some of them, those CDs are kind of rare and they go for a pretty penny on eBay.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck, I should have kept those.
Yep.
Also, too, as we all evolve, you could say something sucks the first time you hear it, right? And then later down the line, be like, I fucking had that, and I wish I had that.
That's what happened to me with because I started off with all the death metal shit. When black metal came around, what the fuck is this shit?
Right.
Yeah.
So like you get some of those black metal records that were like one mic in the middle of a room in a basement. I was like, this fucking shit sucks.
Yeah.
But I mean, tastes change over time, and I'm like, fuck yeah, like, more
And that-
necro.
Yeah, you kind of know what it stands for. And,
Yeah, it's just part of growing up
yeah.
and like taste changing, man. Like
Yeah.
even to this day, taste. I don't know, just change.
And that's the funny thing about black metal. When we did the black metal episode, I remember that it wasn't the fact that they couldn't get good production. I know a lot of it was DIY, but that
Right.
was the whole aesthetic of it. They
Yeah.
wanted it to sound
Yep.
like that.
Crusty.
So when you realize that, you're like, they weren't lazy. They were just going for a certain vibe and a certain sound. That
And I was
raw
a
as
kid,
fuck,
I was a kid, like from one scene and a fan of one style of music to where like this was brand new and so I was like 17, 18 years old.
Right.
Sounds like shit. Don't like it.
Yeah.
I want it to sound like fucking grave and hypocrisy, and it doesn't. So
And you're spoiled by that time because
Yeah.
you've heard all the hypocrisies, all the Florida death metal, Scott Burns, and all the
Yep.
good production that so you're like, oh, this is metal right here. Like,
yeah, and I'd always think like, man, what would this sound like if it was like in a good studio?
Yeah.
And, But it is what it is, man.
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of all that shit now. So
taste might change,
whatever.
but I'm always a fan of crisp production. I haven't gone back on that. Like if I can't understand what's happening in the recording, then I'm just gonna don't get it.
Yeah.
Try it again.
Yeah.
Maybe remix that one.
Get back to me on the next mix.
Yeah, I'll try the next album.
Yeah.
So
yeah, so don't listen to any early Mayhem, that's for sure.
no,
They won't get back to you on the next mix.
So that's mandatory now.
Yeah. So how did you become a musician? Where did that come into play then?
I grew up with it. My mom was is blues and jazz musician. So growing up, there's musicians in the house all the time.
Oh,
Sweet.
nice.
So being a little kid sitting on the floor, you got all the blues crew hanging out the kitchen, drinking whiskey, smoking joints, and there's little Erikk on the floor with fucking pots and pans.
Oh, hell yeah.
And that's how it started. And like going back to the whole Def Leppard thing, man, it's like I wanted that. I wanted to be on that stage. I wanted that crowd of people. It's what I wanted. So I just kind of picked up drums, through band at school or whatever, and it just came to me rather naturally.
Yeah.
Just kind of figured out. And my mom bought me a drum kit when I was like 13 years old, and I just everything took off from there.
A lot of parents don't go for the drum kit. It's usually like the last thing. It's
Man,
fucking racket.
everybody hated that shit
Yeah.
because I never stopped playing. I was always playing that fucking thing. And it echoes in my head, Erikk, shut the fuck up! Shut the fuck up! And it's like, sorry, got to keep practicing, got shit to do.
Yep.
So I moved it out to the garage, instead. So, who got to experience that? The whole fucking neighborhood. Cops showing up. I got a noise complaint.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, just practicing.
Noise ordinance isn't until 10 p.m. Fuck off.
Oh, man. So, that's where it all started, dude. Since I was 13 years old, it's just been nonstop.
Yeah.
Just go. Write
Sweet.
music, learning, drums, guitar, it's where my mom was the source of all that to start.
She's like, there's a total lack of drummers. I'm buying you a drum set. Well,
Yeah,
I'm a
right.
musician. I understand.
Well, that's what I wanted to do, man. I had a little drum pad for band for practice, and I would sit out there with my headphones on and be playing along to all the tapes I had.
Nice.
Yeah.
Just on this little fucking
Just
pad.
diddling it up, huh?
Oh yeah, knowing
Yeah.
everybody.
Yeah. You said you
That's
did
how I roll.
a little band, so did you learn some of the paradiddles and stuff, the left,
Oh,
right,
yeah.
left, and all that kind of stuff?
Yeah, I got some music theory in the
up
Oh, yeah.
there.
up here. Yeah.
What part of band were you in like
Percussion, of course.
no, I mean like were you in marching band or were you in like just the sit down in the orchestra type or all of it?
Performance
Yeah.
band, I guess. I
All
don't
of
know.
it?
I never did the marching shit.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
Because I know the marching stuff is pretty cool in my opinion.
Yeah,
very,
I
very
got
percussive.
I got out of that before we really started doing that.
Okay.
I was a 7th and 8th grade band, I had the long hair and shit.
And you were like,
The
blasting on you.
conductor's always
Yeah.
giving me shit about my hair being long, and I was like, you know what, dude, fuck you, I'm out.
Yeah.
I don't get it,
So-
man. Like just let people have their hair. He's probably jealous. Was he bald?
Yeah, he was an old fuck.
He was balding.
Hey, now I feel personally attacked. Thanks.
I'm good at that.
Bald and old. Thanks.
Take it on the
it's-
chin.
Yeah, so okay, that's cool. You got into it through that, and then you just started playing in bands, and that's kind of how it goes.
Yeah,
huh?
I mean, like when you're playing music, you meet people that are starting to get into that stuff, and I met a couple guys who played guitar, so we just be at the garage playing, and it's where it all starts for most of us, I think.
Yeah.
And just that kept going and going and going, meeting more people, meeting more talented people, and you learn and you write, and next thing you know, you're playing parties in high school, and it just kind of goes from there. Everybody was always really intrigued with us too, because we were like, the first real band we were grindcore as fuck, dude.
Oh, no shit.
Oh yeah, the early Napalm Death and Anal Cunt, all that shit we were real big into, so we tried to mimic all that.
Like shorter songs, just
Oh
blasting
yeah,
type
dude!
shit,
Like
grind
minute
shit.
and
Yeah.
a half songs.
Yeah.
Some of them were like 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. Fuck it. Whatever.
Yeah.
It was fun.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you don't have to, like, when you're playing grindcore, I feel like there's a certain technical aspect you don't really have to hit. It's kind of like grindcore really lends itself hand in hand with punk music. It's got that where there is technical proficiency. You have to be good, but it's not all about being razor technical tight or anything.
Yeah, we just wanted to be fast as fuck, man.
Yeah,
it was me, Brian, Ray. I met Ray in high school, you know, so we started jamming. He thought I was a fucking poser until he came over to my house. And he realized he was the fucking poser. So, fuck you, Ray.
I remember we talked. I remember he admitted that actually on the last podcast. He said that.
But I mean, we had our grind band, dude. And it was fun as shit.
Hell yeah.
And then, from there it was Project Apocalypse, doing the black metal stuff, and that's where I got to play my first real show. So I credit Project Apocalypse for like where being in that band where I'm at today, because that's where I got like the exposure to like the more professional side and business side of the band stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
now, did you leave Project Apocalypse and then go on and do something else?
I don't remember.
And they kept going.
I don't remember what happened with all that. I mean, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I would just remember because I thought Infinite Design played with Project Apocalypse a few times.
They probably did. I don't think they get together, disband.
Okay, that makes complete sense. That's kind of where I was going with that.
Because I spent time with them, and then I ended up joining Kuru.
Okay.
And I mean, that's where everything really took off for me, was being with those guys. But Project, I mean, we went out to ended up hooking back up with those guys. We went out to New York, played for I don't even know what fucking record company it was. We went out to do some showcase, got invited out there, and that was a fucking dope-ass experience.
Nice.
Going out there. And then that's where I met Hasso and Ryan. And then we ended up doing another project. Shit just goes all over the place. And while we were out there, it's a funny story. So we're like getting toured around all these studios and shit. And these executives like take me and Hasso, and they're talking to us about leaving those guys and joining another band they got. And I was like, say what?
The old band.
Yeah, you guys show here. We got this band that does this and this and this, and I'm just thinking, I am not doing no Creed fucking bullshit, man. That's what they kind of were selling at us. You guys are really good musicians. I think you could do good with this band over here. And I'm like, fuck this.
Right.
In hindsight, I'm thinking about it. I was like, man, what if I did do that?
Yeah.
You rich.
I'd probably be fucking dead.
Or dead.
Yeah. Rich or dead. Yeah, one of the two. Or both.
I'm being real, dude. Like back then it was party time.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So I was like, yeah, put me on the road. Good idea.
That's why I feel like I wasn't meant for success. I would have died in my 20s.
Yeah, me too.
I would have died.
Me too. I was going hard in the paint for a while, like I was invincible, and then I'm like, oh, no wonder I never accomplished anything when I was fucking 20 through 30.
Yeah. I guess the point of that story was it was just a cool experience.
Oh, yeah.
Like go out there and like have that exposure to that stuff. So
nice.
Never been out east.
So
it's wild out there, dude. Yeah, Jersey and New York City, man. Going through the fucking, I don't remember the tunnel, the Lincoln Tunnel or some shit. You go out and it's all, oh my God, dude, it's fucking, it's intimidating.
I'm a West Coast guy. I'm California bound. I'm chill. I'm way too chill for the East Coast. They'd eat me alive.
So then you started playing Theocrocide and then we kind of talked a little bit about all of that the last time you were on. So let's talk about what we're doing right now. That kind of gets us caught up for the most part. I just wanted to know your backstory because we didn't talk about that last time.
Yeah, the backstory is hazy, bro. I'm sure there's a ton of other shit.
Oh yeah, I'm sure we could do 2 hours just on the backstory.
Oh God,
I just wanted a little piece there because I didn't know that your mom was a musician. That's pretty cool.
She still plays too.
Hell yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. What's her instrument of choice? Did you say?
She plays guitar.
Guitar? Oh, awesome.
Yeah, she meddles with the piano too. She's got some old organs in the house and shit. And, I keep asking her. I mean, she's gonna be. She's born at 52, so she's 72 years old, man.
Right.
I'm like, Mom, we got to get you in the studio and record some of that blues shit, One of these days I'll get her in there, man, but we'll see what happens.
I imagine she plays electric and acoustic.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
For sure.
That's crazy. That's almost the same as my dad. Like, I always tell him, like, let's record some of that music before it's time,
Yeah, my dad was always spinning records, too, man. So, like, he listens to all that rebel rock shit and, all the rebel country.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Outlaw.
Yeah.
Outlaw.
My dad's a total outlaw, stealing hubcaps.
Siphoning gas.
He would steal your horse. Fuck, dude.
He's going to be like, Eric, God damn it, why'd you bring up the stealing hubcaps?
All right, so you sent me a link the other day while we were kind of going back and forth.
Did I?
You sent me some. Oh, gee, you think? Sent me a couple links. We'll talk about it. The Black Temple, Rise of the Serpents. We calling this a re-release?
Okay. Choir of Chainsaws is new.
Yep. Okay.
The reason these songs are re-recorded is we reworked them. There's parts added to them. It's recorded with the full lineup. So this is the first Temple release where everyone is taking part in it.
They're on the recording.
Yes, instead of me doing most of it and then they just throw in a little part here and there.
Right.
Yeah.
This is actual like guitars done by Johnny and Ants. Ray plays his bass.
Okay.
I'm doing guitar tracks on it too. Don't get me wrong. I'm always going to play guitar on our releases.
Right.
But the drums and then vocals, of course.
Okay.
So yeah, it's everybody participating. The Theocracide song, I added keys.
Yep.
Into it. Ants does some lead work throughout the songs. So there's just a new dynamic to them, and it made sense to re-record them, re-release them, and I took all the other shit off the internet. I was like, fuck that. I'm not. That shit sounds like fucking ass anyway. So
Right. You got to start somewhere, but I mean, these songs are a great representation. I know, like I said, you were sending me some mixes, so you were asking me some feedback, so I appreciate that. That you actually asked me just to give you some feedback, but I think they sound great. I love the drum sound on them. The drums are nice and full in your face. I love the songs too. I liked the songs before. I told you that.
Yeah.
But I just you write good songs, and I appreciate that. And this batch of songs, I think, is a great representation.
I just thought, even before, I don't think the songs were represented right.
Yeah.
And I feel like they're represented the way that I wanted them to sound in the first place. And so I'm very happy with what is currently out there. And yeah, like help from you. I sent him to Sean Peters too, had him listen to him. My buddy Alex Moran down in Texas, I had him check him out. I needed that feedback, because I get in my own head that, I don't know, this is fucking awesome. But then someone's like, dude, it sounds like shit. I'm like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah, and that can
but
happen.
It's like, I'm very independent. So like to finally reach out and like feel comfortable doing that and get the feedback to have that product turn out the way it did, dude, I'm fucking ecstatic.
Yeah,
so.
and that's always been my thing. I want to hear them drums right up front, not just because it's you on drums, but I need to hear that low end, that like smashing in your face. And I think you finally accomplished that on this, where it's just like the drums are real forward, but the guitars are clear. I can hear the bass. The vocals are mixed just the way I want them. They're there, they're audible, I can tell they're there, but they're not overpowering. Like the Glenn Benton Vital Remains CDs, where it's just so much vocal in your ear. You're like, God, you fucking ruined this. I like your vocals, but I can only hear vocals, I think we go wrong with death metal sometimes with that. You're kind of just part of the mix. You're not the guy on top. For me in death metal, but
it's the recording the vocals and the death is very tricky. I mean, like getting that balance just right. Alex was telling me, he's like, dude, extreme metal's like the hardest shit in the fucking world to mix.
Yeah.
And when I sent him one of the final copy, like he provided some feedback. I sent him back to mix, and he was like, holy fuck, dude, what did you do? Like it became night and day with like just a couple suggestions from him, from you, from Sean. And Sean was very much like, get those drums up. And, and so now that I have that, what's happening now? Well, now I'm going to go back in the catalog and see. Let's make some adjustments here.
Yeah, I know that feeling. But the cool thing is now you got that skill set and you got that confidence that your recordings and your production is getting to where you really want it to be. You know what I mean? Though that always is a great feeling.
Yeah, it's just going to keep getting better. I mean, if you're not getting better at something, you should probably just quit.
Yeah.
I hate to be negative about it, but
unless you're not putting in the hours. If you're not putting in the hours.
Like I said, if you ain't getting better at it, you might as well just quit.
But that's
Go
the only
find
way you
something
get
else
better.
to do.
Put in the hours.
Thought it sounded great. I gave it a twice over this morning, in the shower, getting ready, and then on the drive down, I listened to all these songs a couple of times over, and reminded me a lot of the old Carcass, musically and especially vocally. That's what I was like, I fucking dig it.
Oh, thank you.
Like Symphonies of Sickness / Necroticism is what I was getting out of it with all the power. Yeah, that's what I was getting out of it. Like I'm going to make sure I'm speaking to this accurately, because firstly, the vocals did sound a lot like Jeff Walker, like by and large, not every single vocal, but like at least the first three. I don't know. The fourth track sounded a little different vocally. I was like, well, that's a different vocal or a different singer. I couldn't tell you.
That's all your boy.
Yeah. I was going to say, that's Choir of Chainsaw is the fourth track on there.
No, it's number 3.
Third.
Oh, that is third.
Yeah, you got Theocracide at number 4.
Oh, okay.
But and I especially thought the riffs were like of that early Carcass era, just sliding the power chords around and the trim picking was.
Well, that's what's up.
And the
That's
beats.
an interesting take, but I like it.
I mean, I'll take it.
Did you have another musical reference?
The only thing that screamed to me, it sounded like, the things that we talked about before. The only thing that changed was when you went into Theocracy at the end, when there was more slower stuff. To me, that was like old school Hypocrisy, like all the way across the board there.
Yeah.
I heard a little Dark Throne in there, like more of a metal type on that particular song. But Carcass, that's an interesting take. I guess if I listen to it again, maybe I'll listen for that. That's not the first thing that jumped out. But
it's vocally,
cool. I mean,
vocally, I can
cool.
see where Nick's coming from. I changed my vocal up a little bit to get like more of like a mid-range. It's not overly high. It's not low. It's in that. It's like what Walker does. It's like that kind of middle raspy. And it's just a really comfortable vocal for me to do while I'm playing drums.
Yeah.
Live and shit.
And you had
so if I'm trying to like hit them fucking bottomed out low frequency shit, dude, that sucks out a lot of fucking oxygen, bro. And I'm up there fucking blast beating the way I am. Anyone that's seen us live so far knows what the fuck I'm doing up there, dude. That shit kicks my fucking ass.
Yeah, I bet.
So to like just change the vocal a little bit is given, I don't know, the energy is there. I'm not expelling so much.
That's smart.
I do a more natural vocal.
Yeah, that's smart.
I guess.
Especially thinking about it, because you could do all these vocals on the recording, but then live, if you're only doing a few that are more comfortable to you, people are going to be like, "What the fuck?" So it's nice
so there's a lot. There's a lot less of that lower register death metal growl.
Right,
With the Theocracy side, there's a little bit of it. And then when I'm layering vocals, but outside of that, you're getting a lot of that. More natural.
Mid-range
sound of my voice.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like.
Do you sit down in the studio to record the vocals?
Hell no, dude. I'm fucking
to imitate live.
I'm not, dude. I got a mic in hand. I'm bent over. I'm leaning back. I'm running all over the fucking thing. I ain't standing still in no fucking booth, man. That's funny. Shit gets me fired up, man. So I'm in full character when I'm fucking doing vocals there, dude.
That's the content we want. We want to see that video footage.
Do you?
I'll get you some.
What are you recording with, like a SM7B or something, so you can hold it in your hand and kind of scream into it?
I don't know what that. It's some piece of shit. I don't know. I got nothing. I got no fancy vocal mic yet.
That's cool. I was just wondering because that's a common one you just see on all the podcasts and on. And,
the SM7B. Actually, I have it like saved in my Amazon cart.
Yeah, it's something
because I'm just like I'm using some like $90 Shure mic. I don't even know which one it is. It's the one I bring to all the live shows with me.
All right.
I've been meaning to get one, especially for vocal recording metal. So, but yeah, so that's a 2024 EP by the Black Temple, 4 songs of blasphemy and perversion of the highest order.
Yes, it is.
So that came out. You just dropped that last week, basically.
Yep.
Last week being
the 30th.
October, what was it, 30th?
Yep. So put it on the 30th.
Okay. So October 30th, that came out. That came out on the blacktemple666.com. So tell me a little bit about that before we jump into, I was wondering about this. So you got a website now?
Yeah, I put that together.
Okay.
Bandcamp. Bandcamp is cool, I guess. I don't know. I just don't like selling something, then I see, oh, you took a nice little cut, didn't you? Or there's some things you sell, all of a sudden they're like, oh, you've got money. Oh, I've got 8 cents. That's fucking great.
Right.
Thanks, Bandcamp. So I just like kind of like, I'm like, fuck this shit, Like Spotify, what the fuck ever. I don't care either way. I just put it up there. You listen to it, great. You don't, I don't give a shit. Spotify to me is just a form of fucking advertisement.
Yeah.
I'm not trying to like make a career off streams.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Good luck. If you
So,
figure
like-
it out, let us know.
So this the website, it made sense. I mean, sure, I there's a monthly charge for the website, which I'm totally okay with paying, but I have total control over like what goes on here, what I'm selling. I get 100% of everything that comes off this monetarily.
Yeah.
So like anything, it just made sense to do this because I'm more of like I said earlier, I'm very independent. I don't.
So is this something you created, or is it a lot easier to create your own website these days?
It's through. Well, this is done through Bandzoogle.
Yeah.
Okay.
And there's different packages you can get.
Templates and drag
and I
and drop.
it's an annual fee or whatever if you want to do it annually, month. I just do shit monthly because it's a couple bucks a week out of my pocket. I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah.
Right.
So yeah, you just go on there and they got a billion fucking templates you can choose from, and you just start building your shit the way you want it. So it's still under construction. There's still a lot of stuff I want to do on there, but the meat and potatoes are in there right now. Like the show. There's a show page. There's the store, and then just a music page where you can put stuff on. People can go listen to the stuff. You don't gotta fucking pay for it. You just go on there and stream it and just listen to it.
Oh yeah,
love it.
So this email list thing right here, is that also available through Bandzoogle? Like, are you actually collecting emails then?
I haven't collected a single one. I don't think anybody cares.
Okay.
So
I was just wondering because
I don't know how that works because nobody signed up.
Okay.
You should sign up real quick, Jay, and we'll see if it works or not.
Okay. I was just wondering because, that's a great way to sell your stuff, keep in touch with your fans, all that kind of stuff.
It's probably the same thing as like Bandcamp, like when you follow somebody or, you can join a distribution list or whatever. It's probably the same thing. If I decide to, announcement, new show or new music, blah, 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 you'd get that notification. And I could also do like, there's password protected stuff where you can make an account and I might have content that's only viewable by people that sign up but I don't know if I'm going to do all that.
Yeah.
But those are the options. There's a million options for this stuff. And it made sense to me to put something like this together. And you could do all this through DistroKid. And that's kind of how I get all my stuff out on like streaming platforms and everything too.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. Well, hell yeah, that's cool. I was wondering if you were running that or you had someone else fucking with that or whatever.
Me, got my hands in everything.
Yeah, I get it. The only downfall of that is just the time to not put your hands in other things. That's the only downfall with that. So, all right, let's talk about this other project that just came out too, Mercenario. That was released on September 5th, 2024. So that's the Tormented Souls.
Yep.
And let me just say that the art itself for everything that came out was fucking awesome, dude. Like the shirts with the skeleton-looking dude and the hood and, man, like the whole layout and all that's badass looking, man.
Yeah, so Tomas, like, he ran point on all the visuals for Mercenario. Alex Shadrin, another Temple Design, he put together the logo, he put together the artwork on the front. The border stuff, I don't know if that was Alex or not. I'm just going to assume that it was. Adelinga Rex put together the whole layout for the CD and everything. So like that whole bundle package, it comes from him. And then Hell's Headbangers did the cassette release, and we are working on a full length that will be through Hell's Headbangers too. And I'm pretty sure we're getting the full treatment for that one, for the CD tape, vinyl,
okay,
all that. So the next Mercenario, the full length I got a high expectation of myself for that one.
Sweet.
To make sure I fucking deliver.
All in.
And then, I'll get all the music done. That'll go down to Tomas. He'll do his vocals. Vocals will come back to me, mix that in. So, we're looking at 2025 for that one.
Yeah. Is that how this release worked? Are you writing this material? Or
I'm writing all the music, yes.
Okay.
I send the music to Tomas and I get some feedback from him.
Okay.
And then he'll give me some feedback and then I'll make some adjustments as necessary. But I'm trying to write this music based on his vocal style. And it's funny. I was expecting like the vocal to come back kind of like in a more Bosadad style, and it came back in this fucking deep dungeony. I was like, what the fuck, dude?
Yeah, that's almost some slam vocal.
Oh, dude, I got so excited when I heard that shit. I was not fucking expecting him to do that, dude. And it's got that arch goat and that, oh god, that evil fucking vocal, dude. It sounded so sick.
What are the
the next batch of songs that I'm writing are set for that style of vocal this time, and I can only tell you, dude, the stuff I got cooking right now for that record is just gonna be sick as fuck.
What are some of the types of feedback that you get from him in terms of like, can you change this here or there? What does he suggest?
Oh yeah, just could you add this here, or this riff doesn't really fit there, and then I just start,
Okay.
the wheels start turning, and I just start doing reworks.
Okay.
So I mean the Mercenario, like the 4th song that just came out, dude, I worked those songs off and on for 2 years.
Okay.
Reworking them, and how they started is nothing like how they finished.
Right. Yeah.
And that's it. I just think it's cool to work with somebody, file sharing, and doing that, getting feedback. And Tomas has been in the game since the fucking 90s, bro. He knows what he's talking about.
Sure.
Right. So, like, to get that feedback from him, and apply that only makes me a better musician too, and a better songwriter.
Yeah.
So working with him has been fucking sweet.
It's good to have somebody that knows what they're doing to collaborate with.
Yep.
Understands the song structure, what they want.
Extremely professional, and it's like we talked about earlier. To work with somebody in a professional way like that, dude, is just you develop leaps and bounds.
Yeah.
So
how do you approach the Mercenario stuff differently than, say, the Black Temple stuff or even the Apocalypse Devastator stuff? Since you're writing, do you have a specific idea in your mind that, like, I'm setting this in this column, this is more for this band? I guess how do you dictate?
I am influenced by so many different things that when it comes to the Black Temple and Mercenario, I would say the writing process for those two bands is quite similar. And what is that? I couldn't fucking tell you. I wouldn't even know how to describe it to you.
So, but you're just writing a song though, and you're like, this is a Black Temple song, or this is a Mercenario song.
If I sit down with an agenda, so if I'm working on Black Temple, I'm working on Black Temple. If I'm working on Mercenario, I'm working on Mercenario.
Okay, so
I don't just sit down and write songs and this will work over here. No, it's like each band has an agenda, it has a direction, and I sit down and I consciously work on that material.
Okay.
All right.
So
very focused, very deliberate.
Yes.
In your approach with that.
Yep.
Okay, that makes sense. That I was just wondering how you differentiate, because sometimes you'll just sit around and riff around, and then like the stuff that we're working on is way different than the stuff that I'll be working on for Iron Sharpens Iron.
Right.
Yeah,
so
the headspace that I get into for each project is different.
Yeah. So that makes total sense. So you got Black Temple,
Mercenario.
Mercenario. You talk a little bit about Ter By Night might have something coming out. I listened to that again the other day. I fucking love that shit. I don't know if it's just because it's you and Sean doing it. I don't know if it's just because it brings me back to being like 16, 17, me and him smoking a bunch of weed, riding around in my fucking old red Ford pickup truck with nothing to do, just putting tape after tape in, or what it is. But what's going on with the Ter By Night?
Well, I can tell you this. Sean and I are very busy individuals.
Yeah.
That tracks.
He's got Wastelander. They're doing a lot of stuff right now. Cavalcade, of course, is always doing something. Projects I got, Temple's getting busy. Got the Mercenario thing. But, behind the scenes, I'm demoing stuff. I'm sure Sean, probably when he has time, he's probably demoing some stuff too. We haven't really talked about Ter By Night recently, but, the want to do another record is there, and I imagine that we're going to do it.
Okay.
We would like to get the first one out. We've talked about doing some self-funded stuff, but like I said, we're super busy.
Yeah.
So to get, maybe at my next tattoo appointment, we'll break it down some more. But
let's see where you're at.
But I just, it's just when the time comes for that, the time will come.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I started demoing a song, and I think it's fucking badass and totally fits the Ter By Night profile.
Okay.
So, we'll just see how it goes.
Because he's writing riffs for that too, though, right? So you're both kind of writing a little bit.
Yeah, like that the first record, that's Sean's baby. That was his vision, and I just helped out with that vision.
Okay.
Right on.
This next one, more of a collaborative effort, I think. I'll write a little bit, and, having that first record to reference is like, what's going on in his head for writing. I just try to interpret that the best I can and come up with something that has that Ter By Night stamp on it.
Yeah.
Is there any possibility of y'all sharing a bill together where you just go on stage and play some of those songs?
We've talked about it.
Yeah.
It's we'll see what happens.
Him and his lineup, you and yours, and then make it maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
Possibly.
We'll see what happens.
Just dangle the carrot.
Put it out there.
We've talked about it. I think it'd be cool to do a one-off, maybe a couple, but we'll see what happens.
That's
It's got it's definitely got to be worth our while, I think.
For sure.
To be able to schedule that in,
right?
To be able to make it work and make it. We're both very professional too, so we want to make sure that like the product, if we're doing it live, the product, we have to deliver a product.
Yeah,
amen.
It's got to be worth our time
for sure.
So.
You don't want to just cobble something together.
Yeah.
Correct.
So, all right. What about Apocalypse Devastator 666?
Oh yeah.
So that's more of a solo project for you then? The
Apocalypse
it is. Devastator?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I kind of see that's your project. Mercenario is a multi-collab type thing, right? Yep. Ter By Night, you and Sean, Black Temple, more of Erikk started, it's Erick's baby type thing, but now you've enlisted some other people, Ray and,
the gang.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, but Apocalypse Devastator, now that's just Erikk solo.
That is the solo.
Now, are you doing all instruments as far as live drums?
Apocalypse Devastator is a mix of live and programming.
Okay.
Apocalypse is an experimental thing for me. It's like I don't have any boundaries for that one, so I'm just trying to see what I can do with all the tools that I have.
Okay.
For just creating some of the most violent, disgusting music I can create. I mean, I'm not trying to win anybody over with 8666, dude. I don't give a fuck.
Clip that.
I am trying to just smash your fucking face in with that music, dude. I'm not trying to.
So just a little passion project.
Yeah, it's a vent project.
Yeah,
and it's everything based on it. It's all I'm trying to write about real world scenarios and like from like a human and spiritual realm, where, I mean, everything ends. It's really what.
We're on the precipice.
Yeah.
Are
we?
We're right fucking there.
I was going to say, World War III might start in 2 days. Or
get your Civil War fucking shit ready.
Get your Metal Maniacs Civil War memorabilia now.
I had a dream I was leaving a podcast and the nukes were popping off, man. I was driving basically from here up toward the prison off of Sherman.
Yeah.
They were popping, huh?
And you could just see the mushroom clouds, and so I was like, "Fuck, how do I get home to my family?" Like the only way north is basically south because they've just or jog east forever. So I was like, "Wake up now, get out of this nightmare."
I don't know what you were eating or watching before bed, but damn,
I have cool nightmares. Sometimes they're long, sometimes they're short, but the worst is when they take place in your own home. Because then it's hard to go back to sleep. You're like, nope, I got to walk around. I got to wake up, then go back to sleep. Because otherwise, you'll just slip right back into it. Fucking hate that shit.
Yeah.
So, you got those projects. You working on stuff. I know you're a workhorse. And then you talked a little. You said something the other day that intrigued me because you said after the Dark Funeral show, you don't use triggers now.
Yeah, I'm fucking done with triggers. Shit's fucking annoying to set up live.
Yeah.
That's really the reason why it's annoying. I don't like having to drag all that shit around.
Yeah.
It takes extra time to set up on stage. It takes extra time to tear down on stage. And it was funny. I saw a post on Facebook the other day about drummers that take too fucking long to set up and tear down, and I laughed to myself because shit drives me fucking nuts too.
Yeah. I get that.
And just the setup of the whole thing, and it's like there's you got to set up sensitivities and my playing, dude. I don't have a nice finesse when I'm playing, dude. I'm out there beating the shit out of this fucking kit, and that's how I've played my whole life.
Right.
And those triggers, they just don't work because there's just misfirings that fucking happen all the time. It's just it's annoying, dude. And I don't have that nice little heel toe shit technique. I don't got any of that fancy shit, I'm fucking old school. And I brought out the Star Classic for the funeral show because I was like, man, I want to fucking play this kit live at least once.
Sure.
So brought it out, and then they threw those Shure, was it P91 flat mics?
Okay, yeah.
They threw those in the fucking kick drums there, and oh my God, did they sound fucking incredible.
Nice.
And I was like, yeah, I'm fucking done with triggers. fucking done with them.
So what are you gonna do? Just buy 2 of those mics and use that in the studio?
Hell yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Exactly what I'm doing. Then
I mean, if your kick drum sounds great and you're not doing that like fucking 300 BPM fucking or that George Colias swivel bullshit where it's so fast that you need to have that trigger, like if you're doing mid-paced or you can do fast double bass and it'll pick it up, but especially live.
Yeah, I'm a bomb blast guy, dude.
Yeah.
Right. It's
impactful, not like.
I've always played drums with like I'm trying to make the riff more powerful than if it was just by itself.
Okay. Yeah.
That's what I feel like my job as a drummer is. I'm just trying to make the songs more powerful, and I feel like, I mean, yeah, sure. I mean, like playing that style. The songs are killer. I fucking love that shit. I like listening to it. I don't like playing it.
Right. That makes sense.
So. Yeah. For me, it makes sense, and I don't need the triggers to sound the way that I sound. I think my sound is that natural acoustic. I just think it's more powerful, and that's it.
Oh yeah.
The reason I don't use them, I'm not using them anymore.
If you hit hard enough, I think you can get around it.
And if your drum set sounds great too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you have a shitty sounded drum kit or like because that's what's weird about triggers, right? You set your bass drums up for those triggers, like so you might just jam them full of blankets just so that sensitivity ain't all fucked. Because that's like a constant fuck around thing too, where you got to make or I got to tighten this drum head up or whatever. Where you would have it tuned like for your regular kick drum sound, but with a trigger you got to approach it completely differently because it's got to be packed full of blankets and it's got to be tightened a certain way because you don't want it to double trigger and all that shit. Yeah, I get that, man. That's fucking. So now if you just got to set your drum kit up so the kick drum just sounds good and you can mic it up and it sounds good when mic'd, then
it's very important. I mean, I have to tune the shit,
right?
I have them tuned to 62.5 dB each. I'm not fucking around. So I mean, it's just you can get an app on your phone to like tune your drums to like a frequency. They'll sound the same if you get the frequency right on each one. It's boom, 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 boom. So I'd be like boom, 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 boom. You're not gonna have that fluctuation.
Yeah.
They're dead fucking on.
Hell yeah.
So
that's cool.
Gotta have it. That sounds professional.
Yeah, you gotta have that. So let's talk a little bit about production, bro. So Apocalypse Audio.
Yes.
Yep. And I know we alluded to you coming into your own. Now, are you full-fledged studio? I know you're a busy guy. Are you recording bands? Are you pursuing
I've recorded some. I'm not trying to get people in there. But if people are interested in working with me, come on in. I just recorded a Blood Druid, new band in GR. We did 3 songs with those guys. They just released one of them. They made a music video for it. I think the song's called Dead Skin, I think. They're happy with how it turned out. I think I'm happy with how it turned out.
Yeah.
They're going to come back in. They want to end up doing a full length. So we're just going to keep plugging away and get some stuff out for those guys. They've got a 6 Feet Under vibe going.
Okay.
And that's cool. I mean, I think their songs are pretty good, to be honest with you. So I'll just keep working with those guys. Did some stuff with some like rock bands. One of the rock bands wasn't a fan of my production, which, whatever. I'm a fucking death metal guy, bro.
Yeah.
Can't please everyone.
I fucking making 1983 rock and roll, dude.
Right.
I'm fucking whatever.
Yeah, there's extreme metal is a very, very niche thing when you're mixing, mastering, and recording.
Yeah. So I just decided after that, I was like, you know what, dude, I'm the fucking death metal and black metal, dude. That's like what I'm good at. So,
yeah.
That's what I'm gonna record.
Yeah.
Outside of that, nah. If you're a close friend and you want to come do some picking, yeah, dude, I'll hook you up.
Right.
But I mean, outside of that, dude,
no desire to really record the public or.
No, I'd rather
chase it down. I should say.
I don't need to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that just puts more on my plate.
Yeah.
But if I like you and you're a friend, you're in the circle, dude. Like hell yeah, come on down. you still got to pay my ass. But,
yeah, no shit.
You know,
it's your time, you know.
Yeah,
Fuck,
we'll work together, and I'm not gonna fucking bleed you dry,
Yeah,
and we're gonna work together and create something that you're happy with.
Okay.
And at the end of the day, that's what I'm doing. I'm asking for these guys' feedback too. It's like, what do you want to sound like? And I send them mixes over and over again. And when they're like, oh, do we love this? Boom, done.
There it is.
Sweet.
Yep.
Oh yeah. So are you approaching production different now that, maybe since the last time we talked? Are there some different tools or some different techniques that you're trying? Or
I think anyone that records, you're constantly learning.
I was gonna say, it
You're
sounds like
constantly
a never
trying new things. You learn something from somebody else, and it's like talking with you, talking with Sean, talking with Alex down in Texas. I think I've got a nice little circle, and it's all about that sharing knowledge with each other. Don't stab a motherfucker in the back and I did this myself. Fuck that. But it's like, I just there's just something I'm learning about like the sound engineer community, man. It's like everyone's trying to work together to, be the best you can at what you're doing, because there's just so much shit out there. And dude, I don't know.
Yeah,
that's about it.
Yeah,
it's just constantly learning, constantly trying new things, and
not. I think when you record, when you engineer, when you produce, whatever. A lot of it just comes down to decision making. And you hoping, and it's a series of decisions till the end product,
right?
And you're hoping that the majority of those are correct. It's like, because sometimes we always talk about this on the show. Less is more too. Sometimes, like, you can get fancy and say I got 32 fucking plugins on this guitar and that's how it sounds. But sometimes you might only need 2. You might need a good compressor and a good little EQ to dive some of that fucking distorted bullshit out of there, and you might have a good guitar tone. So you just got to know when you're not swimming in. You start adding 15 plugins, you're kind of like, am I making this worse or am I doing better? Like,
going back through, like, for example, with the Temple EP, it was like I was just overloading shit. I was like, I think I scrapped out 20 or 30 mixes, dude. Like, working on that, it was driving me fucking crazy, because like I'd sound good on one thing and something else. I'm like, what the fuck is that sound? Those little frequencies that just piercing your ear hole, dude, and driving you fucking crazy.
Yep.
And talking with Alex, he was like, just throw some saturation on those guitars, bud. I'm like, saturation on the guitars? What the fuck is that? I'm thinking to myself, so I go online. I'm like, saturation plugins. I've got both of those plugins. No shit. So I go back in and I throw Fab Filter Saturn on the guitar, just little tweak. I was like, took care of that dumbass frequency that's been driving me nuts for the last fucking 2 months. Sweet.
Yep.
So I mean, it's those little things, and just add, just like you said, less is more. I just had to just throw that on, just the EQ, just a tiny little bit, and it solved that issue. It was like, holy fuck, dude, it was so easy. And it just comes back to that knowledge sharing too.
Yep, exactly.
Do you have a preference when it comes to recording your guitars, whether you're miking cabs or your direct line in?
I like to mic cabs.
Yeah.
I just got some nice amps down there, dude. Yeah. Like that,
dude. That
PRS MT15. That thing sounds so killer, dude. I love recording with that. And then I've got that Ingle Savage 120, dude. That thing sounds fucking killer too, man.
Right.
My 6505 through that Riviera cab too. I'm like,
it sounded sick. It sounded
I want to
sick,
get
dude.
One of them Riviera cabs, because I was like, this is the best my guitar has sounded in a long time.
Yeah, that Riviera cab is sick,
dude.
I had the knucklehead that came with it. But that amp was so loud. It made no sense. It made no sense at all, dude. It was loud for the sake of being loud.
Yeah.
Right.
And I ended up just selling it. I mean, it sounded killer, but some guy down in, I think, Georgia or something was like, oh my God, sell that to me. And I was like, $1,200, bro. You can have it.
Yeah.
Fucking bought it, and then I pretty much got that cab for free. So.
Oh,
Sweet.
Yeah, I know a lot of times it's all about and I've learned this, like, I used to always say, I'll just fix that later. I'll just fix it later or something. But, man, getting them tones correct going in, Addison, he's been on the show a couple times now. That's a big thing for him, and he's always preached that. Like, man, if you get a killer sound going in with your drums, with your snare, with your your cabs, there's
very little you have to do to it if you
right.
get it. And that's what I try to do is get like that sound that I want out the gate. I'm probably gonna try using some condenser mics on the cabs too, which I've only kind of messed with, but I'm just using a 57 on those cabs, bro, and that's it.
I mean, that's the age-old go-to is the 57 on the cab, so they sound good. So not open for business. We're not doing all that, but
it's only one man.
Yeah,
and
I
5
that.
bands.
No, I get that.
I set that studio up for myself.
Yeah,
right.
That was for me. We all have like this dream of what we want.
Right.
And for me, I wanted my own studio to be able to like record all this shit. I've wanted it for years and years and years and years and years, and was finally able to make it happen. COVID opened so many doors for me.
Yeah.
So, it was a terrible time, but it opened so many doors for me, and I couldn't be more thankful for that happening.
Yeah, you made great use of your terrible time.
That's fucking awesome, dude.
It really did, though.
I mean, it's sorry to say it, but I mean, it worked out for me. So,
fuck, dude, you gotta love that.
Yeah,
man,
I did I made a lot of, I was able to do a lot of things during that time period, and like in building that studio was, was able to work out. We couldn't do a lot of shit.
Right.
And I was able to like, the money became available through 401ks and things like that.
Yeah.
Oh, COVID hardship. Yep, having one. I don't have a studio. Give me some money.
Yeah. Hey,
so,
dude, that's cool.
Yeah, so that's how it happened. I was able to build it, and now I have it. So,
I do want to say, just kind of going back, and I forgot to say this when we were talking about it, but on this Black Temple, I really like the guitar tone on this new reworked EP. It had some of that HM2 vibe. I know you're a lone wolf audio guy, but it had some of that really kind of like Swedish Chainsaw death metal sound on the guitar. Yeah. But it wasn't over the top, right? Like it wasn't so low that it just muddied up the mix. I could actually hear the guitars, but you still accomplished that.
I was wondering if you had like the HM2, but you just dialed it back so it wasn't overpowering, because you got really close. I was like, man, I wonder if he's just like scaling everything back on the HM2 to get close to it, because it was really Chainsaw-esque.
I can't wait to tell you about this.
So I'm going to let you tell him, because like I said, he's a lone wolf audio guy that's a pedal company,
right? And
you haven't seen what he has, so you go ahead and tell him, because I actually got to witness with my own eyes this fucking freakazoid and this table, this fucking table. Go ahead, you tell him.
The guitar tone for the Temple EP is not an HM2.
Right. Okay, I figured.
It is not the left-hand wrath or path that Joe is known for.
Right.
He created a pedal called the Trend Killer. The Trend Killer is a completely brand new circuit, separate of the HM2.
All right.
So on that EP is the Trend Killer pedal.
All right.
I spent a lot of time dialing that son of a bitch in. It took some time, but that's what Joe pedals are. There's so many endless options that you can get out of his pedal. Love him or hate the guy, he knows what the fuck he's doing. So I got the Trend Killer, used that. Now what happened on that EP? I EQ'd those guitars a lot. So in the saturation process, I literally knocked out all the mid-range, nearly all of the treble. There's just some low end on those, and then I put all those tracks into a bus and bumped up frequency at 3K and at about 10K, and then knocked it down around 600, and that's what got that guitar tone for the Temple EP.
Sounded good.
So, but what I was alluding to, and I thought he was going to fill in, those motherfuckers got like 75 pedals just sitting there. Like, there's so many fucking knobs, dude. Like on even one of these pedals, like the Lone Wolf stuff has so many options is what he's talking about.
Right.
Some of these, they got fucking, some of them have graphic EQ on them and plus 6 fucking knobs. Some of them got 12 knobs. I mean, there's so many options that you can have, but this fucking dude, he's got so many pedals, dude. Just this table full of pedals. I was like, where do you start?
Right.
It's like,
that's just my addictive personality, Jay. Some of these pedals, I don't even know what the fuck they do. I just have them.
Yeah, that's what he was saying. He was like,
and so
I know what this one does. I think this one does.
They're not all chained together, though, are they?
No,
okay.
Absolutely. It's just he can pick and choose type thing.
Okay.
It depends on what I'm going for. So we could go into the weeds on this for hours, But what I did when I get one of those pedals is I run them through an amp. Right. I'll go through clean channels, dirty channels. I will play with settings. Like I 12 o'clock all the amps.
Yep.
Right. So then I'm just playing with the pedal to work on tones. And when I find one I like, I'll open up Pro Tools. I'll throw a couple guitar tracks on there, and I'll do a left and a right track to see what that pedal is going to sound like recorded.
Right.
And if I like how it sounds after I do that, it gets a check mark that yes, I'm going to use this for something.
Okay.
So when the time comes, I make little notes to myself. What would sound good if I was doing something like in this vein? I make notes of that. So when that time comes, like, I'm going to grab this pedal, let's plug this bad boy in, let's do some tracks with it.
Yeah.
So I like having the options.
So you got options.
You zero out the amp just to figure out the pedal. Do you go back and play with the amp after that?
No.
Or just
when I'm recording, I have everything set to 12 o'clock.
Okay.
To make my EQ adjustments, as needed
in the app in Pro Tools.
Yeah.
Good old
or with the pedal. I mean, a lot of those pedals have the EQ built in, so I'll just use the pedal EQ instead.
Okay.
Hell yeah.
So good to know. Good to know.
So with all of that, really kind of your only live project right now is the Black Temple, right? That's the only band that you're jamming with live currently at the moment. That's what you're
I would like to do
on,
Devastator live. That would be interesting.
We'd have to find.
You'd have to hire out. Make Black Temple do it.
I'd do that one man, bro. One man.
What would you do?
Program drums.
Program drums and then play guitar?
Oh, yeah, just one man that shit.
Yeah.
I've had some weird ideas with that one because there's so much technology available.
Yeah.
It would be really interesting to do that as a one-man project live.
Mm-hmm.
And then just have this vision of it would look like on stage. You're like, oh, one guy up there, it's fucking boring. Not if you have some props.
Yeah, I was gonna say it depends on how you set your stage up.
How you present it.
Yeah.
And I got some good ideas. I don't want to lay it all out here, but
Makes me
I got some really good ideas for that. And I think it would be fun to do by myself, where it's it's not just a backing track of drums.
Right.
But I would actually have the bass recorded with it as well.
So you'd be playing to a click then?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
I always play to a click.
Yeah, just gotta throw it out there to know for sure.
Yeah. But I'd have the drums and I would have the bass on a backing track going through because that thickness has got to be there.
Yeah.
And with all the options that we have nowadays, we can definitely make that happen.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
So
I've seen the Faceless without a bass player, and if you're like, what the fuck? All the bass was there because they piped it in, but. Did we go to that show together?
No, but I've heard tell of them doing that.
Yeah,
I've not seen the Faceless live, so if Michael Keane can ever get his shit together, fucking bring it back to
I've seen him 3 or 4 times, but the one time they didn't have the bass player, so they just piped all of his stuff through, and there was all these funky bass lines going on. I was like, oh, okay.
Big fan of the Faceless. Just get well, Michael.
They have, cool band. But yeah, so we're talking about playing live, man. You guys, we'll talk about a few shows here, but you got to play with Dark Funeral. That's fucking awesome, dude.
Wow, I mean, they barely play, right?
It's been a long time since I've seen them.
But
back
Dark
in
Funeral,
the States.
Well, they roll over. They play Europe all the time.
Yeah, they play Europe all the time. It's been a long time since I've seen them in the States.
They came over. They did a few headlining shows, and now they're with Gwar, and I think they might have a couple of headlining shows too. But
I've seen them in Chicago, 04, 05, something like that, maybe.
Yeah, we saw them back, let's say 2011 or 12, maybe. It was at Blondie's in Detroit. It was them and Grave.
Oh, okay.
And I think it was a Monday night show. There's 50 fucking people at this thing.
Damn, that's crazy.
So, but I got to watch Dominator fucking play drums from about 10 feet away. So I mean that was fucking pretty sweet. That was worth the price of admission alone.
Yeah. So Dark Funeral, they're one of my favorite black metal bands because they have better production, and I just think they're kind of a tier ahead of some of that earlier black metal, I guess the second wave of Norwegian shit or whatever. And I heard an interview with a guitar player, and he's just kind of talking about how he just does what he does. He doesn't do it because someone else is doing it or whatever. And I thought it was really cool how they approach shit. But yeah, you guys got to play it. Was at Elevation. Unfortunately, I didn't get to go because back in May, my mom bought me tickets for Tom Segura, and it was on the same fucking night, so I couldn't go to the Dark Funeral show. Or else I'd be there because I like your band, I like Throne, and I fucking love Dark Funeral. So it's. So tell me a little bit about that, bro.
That show was fucking sweet.
Yeah.
I'm usually not a huge fan of like the whole ticket sale thing, but now you're able to. I didn't fucking know this, but now it's like you get a link. It's like throw the fucking link out, and people can just click the link and buy fee-free tickets. And I was like, dude, that is fucking sweet. So we just fucking threw the link out there, We did pretty good.
Oh yeah,
we did pretty good. Crowd for a Sunday night, I thought was solid. It was about 200 strong for a Sunday night for a fucking black metal show.
Yeah, no shit.
Fucking sweet.
Yeah.
We've been honing the live craft for a while. And I got to give it to the guys, dude. I'm not so easy to work with. I have a vision, I have an expectation.
I can relate.
And, we I think we've gotten there. As a group, and I think it really showed at the Dark Funeral show. We went in, we worked our asses off, getting everything nice and tight, and we got there, and we've been talking. We always have, me and Ray especially, dude. We always have these crazy fucking ideas of like how we're gonna present live. What are we gonna do? So the week before, we played down in Kalamazoo. And we're like, yeah, let's do it because of Halloween color. Let's do blood and spikes and all this shit. So when the time came, I was like, I was outside dumping blood on myself, with fucking big old gauntlets on and shit. And I come walking through the door, dude. I had all this shit on me, man. And like people just started going fucking nuts. And I was like, all right. We played. It was cool. But then, like at Dark Funeral, all four of us went all in on the makeup and the fucking spikes, the bullets, the fucking blood. We cleaned up. We cleaned up after ourselves. We trashed the bathroom, at the Elevation, but the guys cleaned it up, so that's cool. We just went out there, dude, and the presentation. How we played, the sound, kudos to those guys at the intersection, man. Like the fucking lights, they had us hooked up. The fucking sound was hooked up, and it also felt really good to play there again. It had been a lot of years since I'd played in there. I mean, the last time I was fucking played in there was, it was at Stash, but that was the Ocker side. That was 2013 or something.
Yeah.
So it was really cool to get back in there, and I think for a lot of bands there's a turning point. There's that one show, there's something that you put your stamp on, and things are going to change after that moment. Mm-hmm. And that was our moment, was that show.
Okay.
I mean, we came out fucking no fucking prisoners, bro. And I think we delivered that night. And yeah, is a lot of just from the feedback from people in the crowd, and I was like, all right, this is the turning point for the band right here.
So leading up to that show, as you guys are rehearsing, there are conversations about how you're going to approach your rehearsal for the show. Is that what changed within the band? Like we're gonna take some shit a little bit more seriously. We can't just show up and mail it in at a practice. You guys got to go home and practice too, so that when we show up for rehearsal, it's rehearsal, not practice.
Practice is something you do by yourself.
Thank you.
Practice is something you do by yourself. When the band is together, that is a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Where you play together everything that you've been practicing.
Yeah.
When you're at home or wherever you choose to practice.
So this is the change that kind of occurred in the Black Temple. We had some conversations and said
we all got together.
Maximize our time.
We had the conversation: are we all in or are we not?
Right.
We are all in.
Good.
And I'm happy because I love these guys.
Good.
And to be able to do it with them is going to be awesome, because like Johnny came in years ago, Anson Ray, in 23, And it's nice, and and we have a good time together too. And I've made some personal changes in my life, that I had to dump on them. Like I have boundaries I have to set. This is what needs to happen.
Right.
If you guys can do this with me, great.
Right.
If not, you got to do what's right for you, I guess.
Yeah.
But
sure.
and to feel like respected by them for like saying, yeah, dude, we're gonna fucking do this for you, man. So I was like, fuck yeah. So now it's like, now I feel more a loyalty to them as well.
Okay.
And we talked. It was like, this is what we got to do. This is what we need to do. We have to take some personal ownership over our parts. You have a job to do.
Right.
If you want this to be a weekend fun band, this is not going to be the band for you moving forward.
Yeah.
Right.
So, like the guys, they have they're setting up schedules, practice schedules, and they're doing what's right for us as a group and as a team.
Yeah.
Because that's what we are essentially.
Yeah.
And we're all on the ride together, because we got some stuff coming up in 25 that's pretty huge.
Nice.
So like, if you're not going to give 100%, and this goes for anybody that works with me. If you're not going to give 100%, dude, see yourself out.
Yeah.
Right.
I get that. Yeah, so I'll be very transparent, because I like to be honest and transparent on the show. The last time you were on the show, it was almost seemed like shit could have been either way, up in the air, kind of started, stopped, because I seen there was a time too where you like canceled all the shows, and there was a lot of shit going. It seemed like there was some kind of internal struggle that it was you were having, and I understand it's your, what I mean? I understand the let's just say the bar that you set for yourself. And it's hard when you want to hold others to that standard as well, because when you expect things from other people, you can get disappointed. You know what I'm saying? So I get that, but it seems like now everything it's a team game.
Strong personalities will clash.
Yeah. Right.
That is proven time and time again.
Yeah.
There has to be a compromise that happens, and we're all on the same page.
And then after all the years of doing this too, there's an understanding of that. Like, we have to communicate this right off rip. We've been playing in bands and playing music too long to be having all this little dumb shit where you don't want to practice at home.
Right.
Like, what are we doing here? Like, that would be my question. Like, I'm not saying in your band. I'm just saying in general. Like you said, if you're not going to give it all,
dude,
like
absolutely,
you need to be putting in the work over there. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Like, we've been doing this too long to be playing games. I don't. If we're going to do something, we need to do it seriously.
I devote almost outside of like, I have my career. Something's got to pay the bills.
Right.
Fucking black metal doesn't. So, I have my career, the fam.
Right.
Outside of those two things, every waking fucking minute of my life is writing music, playing music, recording music, being creative, creating this shit. I'm always working on it. I'm always practicing.
Right.
I want to give 150 fucking % every show. And
feels good.
It does feel good. It feels good. My purpose is to get out there and be the best one out there.
Yeah.
Deliver this fucking shit and leave people fucking in awe. Jaws on the floor, tears of blood, That's what I live for, man.
Got something on your cheek. I don't know.
And it's the passion. I need people around me with the same passion.
Yeah. I get that, man.
Otherwise, it's just...
Yeah, I get that. So you guys did play at the Runoff, though. You had kind of mentioned that a little bit. How was that? Because I was always kind of interested.
That's a cool little DIY spot, man.
Is that the dudes in Bronson Arm? Is that their thing?
I don't know any like history of this place.
Or is that the Jolly Llama? I don't know. But yeah, so the Runoff, K-Zoo, I've heard a lot about it. We've had, obviously, all the bands on our show. A lot of them had played there, so...
Yeah, the Slug Child guys asked us to play.
Okay.
So, we said yeah and went down there, and it's a cool little DIY spot.
Oh yeah, the Slug Child, those guys are cool. Yeah, they're actually coming on the show here in a couple of weeks.
Oh yeah, me and Kent have been talking quite a bit.
Yeah, well, he did that video for you guys for the choir.
Yeah, he did the
Chainsaws
Chainsaws video. John, he came over, hooked him up with some 57s because he's getting into the whole all the recording stuff and building his arsenal up. Yeah, I've been talking to Kent. Probably going to do a music video here soon. For Apocalypse Devastator, actually.
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
And then we'll probably talk about doing something for Temple as well. But yeah, he's such a cool guy, dude. Him and his girlfriend, I think their name's Morgan. They're so cool, man. And I feel like you know when you meet someone, they got kind of a similar drive to you, and you just that's the energy I get from Kent. And it's like he's just cool to work with. You know, he goes all in, takes the shit serious, professional as fuck. So you know, for some, I can work with people like that really easy.
Right.
So yeah, good dudes. I think you'll have a good time with them.
Yeah, I mean, we played with them before, but you know how sometimes you play with bands on shows and you can't. It was a miracle that the only reason we got to know you was because we always partied with you guys afterwards.
Yeah,
because you know at a show you're just moving equipment, you're trying to get your shit. It's not a very conducive like let's hang out and have a conversation, get to know each other type of situation. It's like pretty much you're there. It's business. Even when you're not on your business there, you're thinking about the business that has to be taken care of, you know, so you're kind of just hanging with the homies or whatever. But so I didn't really get a chance to get to know them. I do know they shred. We did listen to one of their songs on the Reaction 2, which was pretty damn brutal. So we like that. And then they're going to come through and we're going to listen to some of their new shit on the podcast. So
yeah, good dudes, man. Yeah, talented as fuck too.
And I've been seeing a little bit about this monolithic architecture band. I think I follow them on Facebook, or one of the guys on Facebook. But they're kind of like a doom band, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So I've seen a little footage of that. And then you got a show coming up. Is this the next show on the docket on November 15th? Unfortunately, bro, this won't be out before then.
That's tight.
Because that's coming up real soon. But you got Mortal Disguise, which we literally just listened to one of their songs on here too. Exploding Zombies, Black Temple, and then Misery Bay. And I cannot read these other two logos.
Feast of Carrion, and then Furnace Winds.
Okay, cool. Yeah, that's at the Sanctuary then?
Yep.
Hell yeah.
Sweet.
So on the
since
15th,
this is airing afterwards, if anybody went, thank you for coming.
Yeah, no shit.
Everybody had a great time.
Everyone had a great time.
Best show ever. Is that now? Is that the only kind of show that you got coming up, or anything that you can actually talk about right now? As far as
we got the 2025 stuff. Couple fests confirmed.
Oh, yeah, I like that word, fest.
Well, I haven't been told either way if they're announceable yet, so I'll just hold off on those.
Yeah, that's fine.
That's
fine.
These two shows are, you know, one of the main reasons that, you know, we had this conversation about, you know, are you in or are you out? Because you know these are they're big shows, so you know the preparation must be had for these.
Yeah.
And
you can't fumble when you get up there.
No fucking around.
Yeah, exactly.
These are big deals. So
now you still working with Mulligans? I know the last time you were on, you talked a little bit about, you know, setting something up there, probably quarterly, basically 4 times a year or something. Are you still in that mode when you go into 2025?
I have no dates currently.
Okay.
It's funny, I actually ran into somebody in public the other day. That was asking me why I haven't done any shows that recently. It's just I gotta have the right motivation for them.
Yeah.
There's a lot of work involved behind the scenes. You guys know.
Oh fuck yeah.
And it costs me money.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So if I'm gonna spend money and not get an investment and not get a return on my investment, I gotta have to have the right motivation for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I get that.
So they're actually they're going to start doing the upgrade to the sound system here shortly. I donated some PA equipment to them last year, and Will is working on getting all of that stuff set up. So once that's completed, then I'll start doing some stuff, because I would like to do a release show with Black Temple, and get some nice, get a nice lineup together for that one.
Yeah.
But if I want to do that, that's something that's motivating to me. That's something that's worth an investment and worth possibly taking a loss on, which I don't want to do.
Right.
But if like I said, if the motivation's right, then we'll do something.
Yeah. And that's always a challenge too. Like if you're trying to get that bigger name band, and I think you had one, and then they like canceled on you or whatever. Or,
you book some bands, and some people aren't happy with the bands you book, so you just whatever, man. It is what it is.
So got some shit come up in 2025. I'd like to see myself on a stage with you in 2025, as far as like my band and your band playing together. I know that it's all metal, and it'd be all love to jam with you guys again. So I'd like to see that happen again.
The album release show,
perhaps. We'd be down to jam. Also, with that being said, too, let me know anytime you want to like a guest solo on any of your shit, man. I'd love to shred something for you and fucking send it over.
Oh, I've already thought about you for that.
And I know
absolutely not, no question.
I know we don't have to make a commitment, but like I said, after we jammed, we kind of talked about that. Like, hey, we should do a little something together. So maybe in 2025, I'll be sending you some songs over to see if you like them and fucking give me some feedback and throw some drums down on them.
Yeah, that'd be sweet. Like I've talked to Jeff from Rip Van Ripper. We've talked and thought about maybe doing something. It's a little studio. Track or something.
Yeah.
But it boils down to, the time and scheduling. And,
yep, and that's what it is.
But it makes it easier when the people you want to collab with have their own little studios to work out of.
Yeah.
And, it's really easy to send a track back and forth and, make the stuff work. I mean, that's how me and Sean did Ter By Night. File sharing back and forth. Made it happen. So.
And that's what I would want to do, is just collab on something.
Collabs like that are fun, man.
Time,
they're fun as hell.
Because, I mean, we've been alluding to this, but Nick and I have like 7 songs for new Infinite Design material ready to go. They're programmed drums, so that way we just don't have to mess with.
Oh, yeah.
But we have 7 songs written, so we're actually going to come out with something hopefully in 2025 ourselves. Right now, it's just kind of a project just so him and I can do some music together. I had a
good. This pleases me.
This pleases Glad we could do that for you. All right, man. So, fuck, dude. What's coming up next for you? What's on the docket? I know you have all these things we talk about. You do all these options, and what's kind of got your focus right now, bro?
Focus right now is Black Temple rehearsals.
Okay.
I have a whole full length for Black Temple ready to go.
All right.
All brand new stuff. It's just a matter of like tracking it out, getting all that dialed in, and like these songs, they're a lot more. What's the word I'm looking for here? They're a lot more technical compared to the stuff that has been released that we're currently playing live. It's just, I mean, I think it's it's evolution of like my playing and my musicianship, where the riffs are there's a lot more going on with the riffs.
Okay.
I've taken a lot of influence of like especially Morbid Angel for the newer stuff. Morbid Angel probably some Belphegor elements in there. There's a lot of Emperor elements in there. It's just it's a fucking black and death metal soup, bro. So there's that. Then, like I said earlier, the Mercenario full length. I've got 6 or 7 songs done for that one already. Trying to go for about 8 or 9 in about 30 to 35 minutes.
Okay.
And I want to stay around that time, in that timetable, especially for like vinyl and all that stuff. You gotta.
I love 30.
And I just think that's a good time.
Yeah.
Unless
you're Nails, then I like your 17 minutes.
Oh yeah, dude, I fucking love that band. But it's like I want to try to keep the songs only like 3 minutes, 3.5 for that one. The new Temple songs are a little bit longer. It's just the way, the Temple songs are a journey.
Yeah.
And we're actually working on one right now for live called Thy Infernal, and it's got a very black metal thrashy sound to it. I think people are gonna dig this one. And then there's one called Aura of Fire that's very, very. It takes you all over the place. You know, you'll be like, oh, it's got that sick, like, Summoning Redemption, Morbid Angel fucking chug drive to it, and then I just smack you in the fucking face with just a blitzkrieg of fucking black metal insanity, dude. And it's a good one. I can't wait for us to play that one. And then Apocalypse Devastator remixing. Yeah. Remixing and remastering that fucking slop fest. It just goes with learning, man, you know.
I get it, bro.
So
I get it. Yeah.
I started doing that last night, and I think you'll be pleasantly surprised.
Oh, yeah. You'll have to send me some of that over too.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, I'm sure you would. But
Jay, listen to this. I need your ear. So I'm redoing that, and I've actually got another EP's worth of stuff for that. Just it's recorded and just chilling.
Yeah.
Got to write lyrics for it still, but you know, there's no rush on that one.
That always kind of it comes last on the priority list for you.
Yeah. Devastator is just something like if I'm just not feeling anything else, I
do something different, feel something different.
Yeah, because I have to be in the right mood and mindset for that one too.
Angry.
Well, yeah, I guess.
Since it's a total, I gotta clip that one part that you were talking about, and I'll fucking bring it back. We'll just insert it. It's like the most, these describing words for how angry he wanted it to be.
I just
the mushroom cloud, as Nick was saying.
Yeah, I have to be in the right mindset. Like, I mean, Apocalypse Devastator is very much influenced by like all the Bestial War stuff. Blood Chalice, Arch Goat, Blasphemy, fucking. The list goes on and on with those bands. Black Witchery is a big one. Yeah. I'm a huge fan of Black Witchery, so like Apocalypse Devastator essentially came from I like that band. So yeah.
Well, with the temple,
writing that Bestial War metal shit. You got to be in the right frame of mind, man.
Yeah, that makes sense.
It just doesn't fall out of me just on a random Tuesday.
Right.
You
got to work yourself up.
Typically, I see it like I just like you said, man, it's like fucking all pissed off and shit.
It's when that altered beast changes to the wolf. Then
it says 8666 is powered by disgust.
Yeah, I was gonna say the human form doesn't really just crank you out riffs for that.
Nope.
You got to evolve a little bit for that,
or devolve.
Yeah.
Devolve.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it, bro.
Oh, man.
I'm curious with the temple stuff. Now, you said, we're kind of a unit now. We're having the, kind of a seeing eye to eye. We're heading forward. We're pushing on becoming very serious about this. I'm just wondering, the last time you were on, you said Johnny had a bunch of riffs that were really cool. So on some of this new stuff that you're working on, are you incorporating these guys' riffs as well? And how does that work when you're writing stuff? Are you learning their riffs? Are you guys sitting down together to jam stuff? Or does he send you some files? What does that look like?
I'm still the one writing the bulk of the material.
Okay.
There's a new song that me and Anthony wrote together. That's going to end up in the set list, I'm sure. Johnny's still got his riffs. There's nothing that's really been put together yet as far as riffs from him. But I mean, we were at rehearsal yesterday. When we got done running through the set and everything. Johnny was playing some riffs. I was like, dude, you gotta fucking record these things, man. Like, the stuff he comes up with is fucking top shelf shit, dude.
Right.
Yeah. And Ants too. I mean, he was playing some fucking riffs yesterday. I turned my head, I said, what the fuck is that? He's like, dude. So I immediately,
Sweet.
We started fucking playing on this riff, dude. And, I said, we got to make something out of that thing too.
So there's just not really no direction on what that would look like.
We don't.
All three you.
We don't.
In riffs.
I don't write music in like a rehearsal session.
Right.
Anymore. I write a lot of everything by myself.
Yeah.
In the studio.
Right.
It works for me.
Yeah.
You know, I everybody writes different. I know some guys like to do the collaboration stuff in the practice space. We just haven't really done it. We haven't said, let's commit this day to just writing something together.
Yeah.
I'm sure that time's going to come.
Yeah.
And it needs to, because these guys have great ideas, and the stuff they come up with is fucking incredible.
So
that day has to come, but just when is that day going to come that we all collaborate together
And
on
if
a
you
song?
do that, I know you got a thought, Nick. So, but if you do that, I just want to sneak this in here real quick. You got to almost be prepared too. Like, you got to, like, we're going to jam, right? See you on Saturday, but I got a chunk of shit, instead of like you staring at me like, what do you got? And I'm like, well, maybe I'll come up with this. Like, it helps if you do schedule something like that, and everybody comes in with like, I got this idea, let's flesh them out. You know, that you got to come prepared, you know?
So I guess my question is, are you not recording your rehearsal sessions for the sake of playing them back and saying, you know, this is how it sounded. You need to clean this part up. I need to clean this part up. This could sound better collectively. Is that not a thing that's happening currently?
It's an off and on thing.
Okay.
There's some days that we record rehearsals, and some days, you know, that we don't.
Hit that
recently, no. We've had the discussion too of making sure the mix is right in the jam spot for the room.
Okay.
So it's a lot easier to hear if somebody's off. And if somebody's off, I mean, we stop immediately. We don't keep going, you know.
Right.
Muscle memory is a very real thing.
Yep.
And if you practice something wrong enough, it's how you're going to play it, no matter what.
Yeah.
So you got to correct that behavior right away. So it's like when there's a mistake, you know, we stop.
Okay.
And start over again, and adjust, and then we move forward.
Yeah.
So if you got to play the same, even though you played the same song 50 fucking times, you know. Even if there's a mistake there, stop.
That capability is there.
You just want that shit happening live, man.
Right.
You know?
But you guys can record.
Mistakes happen. You're in the moment, and it's fucking death metal, black metal, bro. It's like you doing
notes happen, snare hits happen. It's here and there, you know, as long as it's not a consistent, constant thing, you know.
Right.
And you know, this is one thing lately too. Live for me, I used to drink when we used to play a lot, and now that I don't anymore, that used to like relax me a lot. So now when I go on stage, I have to warm up a lot more, and I have to prepare for these shows a lot more, because when you go up there, you got the nerves kick in, so it's like the percentage of your mistakes are already going to go up, because you're already like kind of got this nervous energy about you. It's just a weird, completely different feeling. You have to be overly prepared almost. You all have to be so comfortable with these songs that even if there's a small mistake, it'll just be like you even recognize, but you have to have intentional focused practice, and that's what I did with this last show we played, and now I know that I just need to play every single day, so I'm that ready live, right? Like, I practice, I fiddle with my instrument all the time, but like these songs, if we're playing next week, I'm going to be playing these songs once or twice a day up until then, just to make sure I'm ready to go.
Correct.
Know? So... yeah, it's a different animal when you play live. There's all these different factors. You're in a hurry. You're moving your equipment. You're worrying about, do you have your shit? Well, what, you know, or, you know, especially before, are my triggers working? Fuck it. Like all that
That's
shit.
another reason I got away from the triggers, because of technical difficulties.
Dude, we just had a fucking major technical difficulty at the show we played, because Adam has the old DM5, and Larry turned it on one day and it lost all of its memory, so all of his settings with the sensitivity and all that, so he reprogrammed it and it kept it in there. Well, we went and played at Mulligan's, and it was already kind of a clusterfuck because it was a Thursday, and the sound guy, I don't know if it wasn't Will, so it was another guy. He couldn't figure shit out, and we were playing, and we watched a video. By the second song, like, Adam kicks his kick drum and it's playing a fucking hi-hat. The fucking thing reset on us, and he's playing a double bass, and one's a fucking kick drum and one's a hi-hat. And so I was like, turn that shit off. We're just going to go without it. We don't fucking need it, but we're not playing that shit. So the first two songs sounded like total dick, but the sound guy didn't tell us either, like, hey, that's not fucking making the right sound. You would think somebody would be like, hey, that sounds like fucking ass, like, you know, whatever, but he didn't do it. But we still played well, and the last song sounded good, but that's the kind of shit that can happen with triggers.
Right.
So Adam went and bought a new one. That's why I was messaging you, because I think he bought that same kind of Roland one. For triggers that you had, but I know you had it on a little stand, so I told him to get a little stand for it or whatever. But
yeah, I got the TD6.
Yeah.
Then Ray has one too. So like when we we're back to practice. We're back to rehearsing at Ray's.
Oh, really?
So, yeah, he's got a TD6 for the kick drums over there. So like, the only time I'm ever gonna play with triggers is
there
rehearsals.
Yeah.
So
whose kit's over there? Is that his bro's kit or is that his?
It's his.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just bring what you need, your throne and cymbals or whatever you want.
Bring a pair of sticks.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah. Just
Quite
play
nice.
whatever he has.
Yeah.
Oh, cool. I guess if that don't fuck you up live or whatever, then
I can sit behind just about any kit and play it. No, it doesn't really make any difference to me.
yeah.
I just look at where all the drums are, couple hand movements. All right, cool, programmed. Let's go.
So we were right before we started this. We'll get wrapping this up here pretty soon. But right before we started this, I was telling you about maybe one of the CDs that would be on my top, probably 5 for that matter, but top 10 for the year. What do you got for this year that's going in that was new release that you were really digging on this year?
The new Deicide record.
Okay.
Hands down.
That was the one we were talking about. Surprisingly good.
I was pleasantly surprised. Just having a new guy in the band, like I can't think of his name right now, but I mean, the way that guy solos and writes music, dude, it's like that record just went right back to like 1997, man. And like, but it was still fresh sounding, you know?
Good clean
and
production.
just out there's like the Legion elements in there. There's the Serpents of the Light elements in there.
I felt a lot of some modern old school, dare I say? Yeah.
You know,
I felt a lot of Once Upon the Cross groove in there. Like there's a lot.
Yeah,
of that
and like
groove on
and
there.
Glenn's vocals too, dude. My God, they were like fucking on point again. Like on overtures, there was like barely any like of that high shit in there.
Yeah, just
And-
when it was impactful. When you
and
needed it.
I mean, you know, you hear him do the high shit live, you're kind of like, eh. But like in that studio setting, dude, like the layering of vocals going on, man, that shit was like fucking the first 3 records, dude. Just sounded fucking evil, man.
Juicy.
Like
Saturation.
fuck yeah, dude. Like fucking 15 years old again, man. This is fucking sick, and I'm okay with it. I mean, dude, it's a good fucking record, man.
Even at Butchered at Birth, because he does that song with them.
Yeah,
on
Vomit
there.
the Soul. Yeah.
So he does that on there too.
Current members of Deicide include Steve Asham on drums, Glenn Benton on bass vocals. You got Kevin Curion on guitars, and the new guy Taylor Nordberg.
Yes, Nordberg.
Nordberg.
Yeah.
So
Thanks, Taylor.
yeah.
Good
So
work.
just the
Good
Deicide.
work.
That's all that's kind of stuck out to you. I mean, I know you're.
I don't even like, dude. I gotta be honest with you, man. I don't like pay attention to new releases.
I get it.
I know the Deicide came out, and
Well, we'll clue you in on the
that's
episode.
literally
Yeah.
the only thing that I can like. The only record I can think of that came out this year that I'm like, oh, sick. Other than that, like, I don't think I talked about. Oh, did you hear the new blah 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 blah? Oh, I mean, Nile had one too, didn't they?
Yeah,
Yep.
Niall put one out.
Yep.
Yeah, but that was just Nile being Nile, so I wasn't like.
Yeah,
Yes.
Niall's always been kind of a hard one to swallow for me. I don't know why. Just the long songs and it's not that they're not good. They write cool death metal, but there's not really enough groove sometimes for me to really like.
Oh, I said just Nile being Nile.
Yeah, it's just not like.
You know, I
you've
throw
heard
it on and
Nephron
just
Ka, I
throw it
feel
on,
like-
just kind of blends together. And it's
Yeah.
like, all right, cool.
Yeah, if you heard Nephron Ka, I felt like you kind of heard all the rest of the Nile. I mean, I'm sure somebody's screaming.
I was
at me,
listening to
but-
Black Seeds of Vengeance on the way over here. I fucking love that record.
Yeah. Blood Red Throne, that's a fucking really cool record that came out this year.
It's got that old school death metal
Yeah.
vibe.
Yeah,
so
they've
you
been
like
hit and
that.
miss for me over the last few years.
You ever heard Volcandra? Very
that sound
fucking
familiar.
cool. I'll send you that. Skeletal Remains put out a fucking record this year. That was
yes. Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, I listened to that a
Um,
few times.
You got Ulcerate. I don't know if you're into those guys or not.
I haven't really listened to
That
them.
fucking Nails is a banger. Obviously, there's a bunch more here. You like that Ishan? You listen to that? You listen to any of his solo stuff?
I'll listen to it every once in a while.
Yeah.
I don't go out of my way, though.
Yeah. Fulci.
Yeah, we were talking about Fulci last night. I was like, just like, yeah, you know, whatever, cool.
The new 1349 is badass too.
Haven't listened to that yet.
Yeah, that's very good. And then fucking Vomit Forth, I really like that too. That just came out too. It's kind of it's
Yeah,
called-
I got their first that Northwestern deprivation or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yep.
That was all right.
They it's a shorter shorter CD. But yeah, that's some of the stuff that's the real extreme show. I mean, obviously there's a bunch of other shit too, but Be Nighted is a really good one that came out this year too. So, but all right, man, is there anything else you want to go over before we wrap this up? Is there anything else you want to say? Anything else you want to promote?
No.
That's it.
I said it all. You even maybe go into my history and fucking talk about that. Well, I just want to say, you want to ask him your final question, Nick, or do you have any more questions or anything you are interested to know?
I mean, he kind of already answered it for himself with the fact that he's just listened to the Nile and the Deicide this year, and nothing really.
Dude, like, I don't, like I said,
anything not metal that you've drawn into this year lately? Is that blasphemy? Yeah. That's what the fuck show am I on?
Distorted guitars only.
There's nothing, like I said, I don't pay attention to like new releases anymore.
Yeah.
I got my Spotify, you know, I have that on when I'm at the gym or whatever, and it'll say like new releases that come across.
Yeah.
And I see it. Sometimes I'll listen to the stuff, but a lot of the times I'm discovering things still that have been released, you know, the last 5 years.
Yeah.
But there's a band, I don't even know how to say their name, Deifage, maybe. Deiphage.
Okay.
Stumbled on those guys, and my God, dude. Fucking awesome. Absolutely fucking awesome. A lot of like, you know, like I listen to a lot of like Finnish black metal too now. So I'm like always like looking for new bands, you know, from that scene. Yeah, dude.
I noticed though, like a lot of times you'll post on social media, like with the record on the thing, like I'm listening to this, but a lot of times it's like shit you've already listened to before. So you're just an avid listener of music that you already kind of know.
Yeah,
too,
I stumble on things, and if I like it, cool. Like my record collection, like if I get a record delivered, I mean, a lot of the stuff I get is like a lot of reissues.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm always hunting down, like I like to hunt for like first pressings.
Right.
Just random recommendations for people. I mean, some of the stuff, it could be from 1997 that I'm just only now hearing.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm all over the place, man.
Yeah.
Like
all over the place.
Necrophobic dropped a new one this year.
That was good too.
Yeah.
I actually really enjoyed that.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that either.
Yeah, it's really good.
Well, like I said, it's like I'll probably listen to that like in a year from now. I'll be like, oh, check this out. Oh, it came out last year, you know.
Since we started this thing, there's been a real concentrated effort on my behalf to like listen to what's coming out that's new. Now there's a couple hundred albums that dropped this year. I don't make that kind of time for music. I mean, even for the podcast's sake, I'm not going to listen to a couple hundred albums, but I'll pick through the ones that I know I'm familiar with, and I'll listen to them. I've got 10 or 20 albums, 10 at least, but I've got another 10 that I want to speak to, at least in terms of like honorable mention type stuff. And I think our lists are going to be very different this year.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I think last year we kind of crammed it in, and we gravitated toward the things that we mutually like. But
I'm
curious to see what you guys what your top 10s are.
Well, last year we especially when he scoffed when I said it was going to be DS. He said,
I mean, it's
really?
good.
What the fuck?
It's good, but and here's the thing, like maybe it's just because they have such a long history that I'm not going to give it the proper respect, which it deserves, because the songs that I've heard, I'm like, it was pretty neck snapping good, like just that right hand with the triplet style. Like I was like, oh man, they got that groove on it. But I would almost rather lean into something that's newer that I haven't heard before, like was it the Blood Throne, the Dark Blood Throne, or
Blood Red Throne?
Blood Red Throne. I listened to that earlier this year, and I was like, holy shit, this takes me back.
And they've been around for a long time.
That
too,
old
though.
Tampa
They have,
style.
like, I've seen Blood Red Throne live a few times, and I have their first record. I think it's called Monument of Death. I have their first record, and then I have what the fuck record is it? Brutalitarian, I think. I have that one on vinyl.
Okay.
But those are the only two records I have from them, because like I said, they're pretty hit and miss for me, because they've had a couple records come out, you're like, well, all right.
Beginning of the year, they
just
dropped.
throwing shit out to throw shit out. But then, you know, it feels like 6 months later, like, oh, we got another record. It's like, how many fucking records are you guys releasing, man? It's like every 6 months, it feels like. But whatever, man. I probably listen to the new one if, you know, you're saying it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I appreciated it. Cool. Yeah, I'm definitely going to speak to it.
Do you get down with the Boarded at all?
Not really.
No, I didn't know if that was, you know, I fucking love
dude, there's so many fucking bands out there, man. It's like,
I know. There's just
you know when it's like when you're ripping the 260 280s and you know like all that constantly and then all the technical shit that goes around with it. My brain just I don't know, man.
I understand, dude. There's only
like,
so much of that.
It's cool. It's cool, but it's like it doesn't hit me.
Yeah.
Right. You know what I mean? I want something that like triggers emotion. Yeah. You know, I don't want like listen to the technical shit's like, all right, cool, you're fucking showing off your fucking shit. You know, but it's I want something to fucking speak to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You want a good song.
Yes.
Yeah. That's what speaks to you.
It's like that Deafage I was just talking about, dude.
They
like,
write good songs.
Holy fuck.
Yeah, that's...
you want to fucking do some PRs at the gym, dude? Fucking throw that shit on.
I'll check it out. That's why I threw that Volcandra out to you, too, because that's more of a melodic kind of black metal, but Clint from Recorruptor, that was one of the bands he said he was listening to that when they were on, and I checked him out, was like, I fucking love this shit. Like, and
I'll have to check it out.
New album. It's very melodic, but it's kind of black metal. Reminds me of some old school Riding Christ in some aspects too, but it's pretty heavy too. So.
Yeah, that's what's up.
But yeah, I liked it. But
Volcandra or Thulcandra?
Volcandra.
Okay.
VOLCANDRA. And it's called The Way of the Ancients.
All right, I'll check it out.
And it has this kind of old school feel to it, and I really liked it, but it was metal as fuck. So.
Finding two different Deafage bands online. It's got New York. And then there's also Sacramento, California, and they both look like black and death metal.
The Deafage has like dude on a fucking like a soldier on a horse or something.
Okay, I'm just seeing photos of the band on Metal Archives.
They have a song called War Moon Rising, and my God,
I
listened to that fucker like 1,000 times.
All
their Spotify plays all that song are from me.
There you go. So you heard it here. Well, I just want to say thanks for coming over again, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Thanks for fucking being a metal brother in arms. We appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
Hell yeah, dude. And of course, anytime you got anything else new or anything you want to send over, anytime you want to come back on the show when you got more stuff to talk about, door's always open for you, bro. So
yeah,
appreciate your time and energy. And
I just have one more thing.
Yeah.
Go to hellsheadbangers.com.
Okay.
And go buy the Mercenario stuff.
Okay.
Please and thank you.
You know, we didn't. My apologies. Like, we'll wrap this up here in a second. I'm not saying goodbye yet because we didn't even really talk about that. We talked about it a little bit, but I listened to it and we talked about the dude's vocals or whatever. We talked about the art being super sick. Now, you recorded all that and mixed that, and he just did the vocals there, or
he recorded the vocals down in Texas with Zeke. Plays guitar, more Bosadad, so she recorded his vocals and then sent me the files, and I threw them in.
Okay,
but everything else was done at the studio.
And then he took care of all of the distribution and getting it to Hell's Headbangers.
Yeah, all the business side of things. That's all him.
Okay,
that's all him.
How did that collab come about then?
Oh man, he was trying to find people to do that project with. He had asked a couple other people. They just didn't have the time for it. And you know, I found that out later, but like I hit him up. I was like, "What's up with this Mercenario thing, dude? Like, what are you trying to do with it?" And we'd been in a little bit of contact with, some merch trading or whatever, and he's like, "I don't know." He's like, "You want to do it?" Like, "Yeah, man, let me see what I come up with." You know, the idea was to like do some like bolt thrower, old school death metal sounding shit.
Yeah.
But I was kind of like, I know Frozen Souls, kind of fucking doing all that shit. So I was like, I'll just put some songs together and see what happens. And then put songs together, and he was like, dude, these are fucking sweet. Like, fuck yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much how that all started.
Just an internet relationship, and then you guys kind of just
and I mean, and like
together, like
he's a fuck cool dude. I mean, we haven't met in person. Maybe we will someday, but
that's cool as fuck.
We talked about like. There was a minute there I was, they're in between drummers or whatever, and, I was just kind of like on standby. I was getting tracks sent to me by the band, sit and learn the music in case there were like tours or shows or anything, that I could help out with, So that was cool to like be asked to help more Bosadad out with shows and tours and everything. And good for them that they found a drummer close to home. But Tomas just recently announced that Morbosa is being put to bed after the Finland show next year.
Oh, okay.
So, but yeah, I mean that's pretty much how all that started.
Cool. Well, make sure you go to hellsheadbangers.com.
Yep.
And buy the Mercenario. I mean, the fucking swag on that, like I said, is sweet, man. And I'm gonna get me one of them shirts. It's fucking
the shirts and everything. I mean, like I think Tomas has some of that he has personally, but then Adalinga Rex has like the bundle stuff.
Yeah, the art for it's awesome. So.
Yeah, and like he actually did the Black Temple layout too for the EP, and he did an amazing job. So I'm pumped to get those physical copies here in a couple weeks.
So go buy that. Go to the blacktemple666.com and listen to this new Black Temple Rise of the Serpents 2024 EP. And make sure you go check out Ter By Night, Apocalypse Devastator 666, and all that other stuff that Erikk be doing. So appreciate you, bro.
Thanks guys.
Keep it metal.
Cheers.
Peace. Thank you so much for checking out the episode. Be sure to hit that like button and give us a share.
Yeah, and if you enjoyed our podcast today, please give it a rating on your streaming service to help us gain some exposure.
And if you really enjoyed the show, please give us a follow or hit that subscribe button and come hang out with us every week. And remember, keep it metal.